Welcome to the final part of this lesson where we're going to be talking about average rate. So the average rate is calculated by dividing the total change in one quantity by the total change in the second quantity. So it's quite similar to finding the simplified rate. So let's look at an example here and it'll make a bit more sense. For example, if a 400-page book is read in 4 days, you would say, therefore, the average reading rate is 100 pages per day. So that's the average reading rate. If you have a 400-page book and you read it in 4 days, then the average reading rate is 100 pages per day. And you can see the working out that's going along here. 400 pages, 4 days. I divide both by 4 because I want this 4 days to become 1 day. So that ends up me getting 100 pages. Let's now go through an example and see how we go with it. So it says, Tom was 120 centimeters tall when he turned 10 years old. He was 185 centimeters tall when he turned 20 years old. Find Tom's average rate of growth per year between 10 and 20 years of age. So he's gone from 120 to 185 centimeters in 10 years. And what we need to find is his average rate of growth per year. Let's think about what this means per year. What this means is in 1 year. So how much has he grown in 1 year? And that's what we're after. Well, the first thing we need to figure out is how much has he grown? Or how much did he grow? To figure that out, what we're going to do is we're going to take his current height, which is 185, and we're going to subtract it by what he was when he was 10, which is 120, and that means we have 65 centimeters of growth. So let's write that down. 65 centimeters grown in 10 years. Now, remember, what we're after is trying to figure out how much he has grown in 1 year. So let's write 1 year here. And as you can see, it's like we're trying to simplify this because we want this second quantity to be 1 unit. So we're going to divide by 10 because 10 divided by 10 is 1. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I'm going to get 65 divided by 10, which is going to be 6.5 centimeters grown in 1 year. So we would write that as, let's write this as a full sentence, average rate of growth is equal to 6.5 centimeters per year. So I can put that dash in there. So that's how I would write my answer. Let me make this look more like a 1. Perfect. Let's now go into our next question here. We're told Michelle grew Michelle grew from 90 centimeters to 130 centimeters over 5 years. Find her average rate of growth per year. So, first thing we have to ask, how much did she grow? Well, if she's now 130 and she was 90, that means she has grown 40 centimeters. So I would say 40 centimeters grown in 5 years. Remember, we're trying to figure out how much she has grown in 1 year. That's how we're going to get the average rate of growth. So to go from 5 to 1, we divide by 5. Whatever you do one side, you must do to the other. 40 divided by 5 is going to be 8 centimeters grown in 1 year. So that means what we can say is that the average rate of growth is equal to 8 centimeters. Whoa, what is that? 8 centimeters per year. And there we go. That is average rate of growth. Hopefully that makes sense and you feel comfortable with doing this. This is the end of the lesson. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next lesson.